All right, get ready because today we're going to really dig into building like a seriously awesome advisory board.
Yeah,
And, you know, it's not just about getting advice, it's about having this group of pros
right.
to kind of navigate your business and get through those like rough patches
Yeah,
and like go into uncharted territory and all that.
totally.
And so we've got some cool guides here on how to actually like build and run these boards,
Okay.
plus some AI stuff that really got me thinking about how to choose the right people for it.
Oh, interesting.
And get this, one of the sources even talks about how nonprofits have this like whole other level of like
Oh, wow.
complexity when it comes to boards because of governance issues.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty interesting, huh? So our mission today is to help you understand not just how to create a really effective advisory board,
Yeah.
but also how to like get the most out of those meetings so you can put all that outside wisdom to work.
Yeah, that's key.
For sure.
Because advisory boards are often confused with boards of directors,
Oh, for sure.
but they are totally different,
Yeah, that's true.
like completely different.
I think a lot of people get really hung up on the whole legal side of boards,
Right.
with all the responsibilities and stuff. But
Yeah,
with advisory boards, we're just talking about guidance,
exactly.
like no strings attached.
Yeah, they have no formal governance responsibilities,
Right.
which lets them focus on just giving strategic advice.
That's a relief for those busy leaders.
Right?
Right. Especially when you think about all the different types of advisory boards that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got your technical boards, your business-focused ones,
Right.
your customer-centric boards,
Yeah.
and then the big picture strategic ones.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like you're choosing a specialist for your business.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Right.
And you might even find yourself needing different types of boards at different
Oh,
times.
totally. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Right.
So I want you to think as we're going through this, which type kind of clicks with where your business is right now.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and before we dive into each type, it's worth remembering why these boards are so valuable.
For sure.
I mean, they give you access to that specialized knowledge and experience that you might not have in your own team.
Right.
And that's huge, especially for startups
Especially for startups.
who might be lacking in certain areas.
Yeah, they need that extra boost.
It's like having mentors
Yeah.
with superpowers,
Totally.
ready to help with any challenge.
I love that.
Right. There was this tech startup in one of the guides I was reading,
Okay.
and they brought on an advisor who had specifically dealt with a similar product launch, but in a different market.
Wow.
And her insights were gold. It
Yeah.
was she could predict problems before they even
Yeah,
happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's not just about getting advice, it's getting foresight.
Yeah, that can make or break a strategy.
And, beyond startups, these boards can help companies of all sizes to spot new trends.
Yeah. Anticipate risks and really refine their strategic plan.
Right, and that's so important in industries that are constantly changing.
Yeah, where it's like warp speed all the time.
Exactly.
So it's not just problem solving, it's future proofing.
I like that.
Right. And I can see why risk management is a big draw for companies,
Mm-hmm.
especially in industries with a lot of regulations.
Yeah, because those advisors who know all the ins and outs of compliance
Yeah.
can save you from major headaches later on.
Oh, totally. Or even lawsuits.
Exactly.
Right. It's like leveraging their experience so you don't have to learn the hard way.
Right. Learn from their mistakes.
Exactly. And speaking of learning, we can't forget about decision making.
Yeah.
Having those outside perspectives to challenge your thinking,
Mm-hmm.
to find holes in your logic that's so valuable.
It's like having fresh eyes on everything.
Yeah, it pushes you to think outside the box.
Totally. And to consider angles you might have missed.
Yeah, so you can make bolder and more informed decisions.
Exactly. And develop a plan that can actually handle the changes in the market.
Okay, so we agree advisory boards are like a secret weapon.
Yeah.
But now the tricky part.
How to?
How do we actually build one?
Right.
And not just any board, but one that's perfect for our needs.
Totally.
Like-
It starts at the foundation.
Okay.
Choosing the right people.
Okay.
It's like assembling a team for a mission.
I like that.
Each member has to bring something important to the table.
So to help us figure out the selection process, we actually used AI for this episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we used a chatbot to analyze tons of data on successful boards.
Wow.
And it came up with 5 key things to think about when we're choosing our members.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. It's amazing how AI can help with even these human things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the first thing, and probably the most important, is having really clear goals
Makes sense.
for your board.
Yeah, if you don't know what you want the board to help you with,
Right.
how can you find the right people?
It's like going on a trip with no destination.
Exactly.
You might end up somewhere cool, but it won't be where you actually need to be.
Right, so the board's purpose has to be clear from the start.
Totally.
Like, let's say your goal is to go international.
Okay.
You'll need advisors who know about global markets, regulatory stuff in those regions,
Right.
even like the culture of doing business overseas.
It's like you need specialists.
Yeah, their expertise has to match your goals.
So step one is like figure out the mission.
Right.
And then find the people who can guide you on it.
Exactly.
Got it. What's next on the AI checklist?
Industry expertise.
Okay.
It's about finding people who really get your specific industry.
Okay.
The challenges, the opportunities, the whole landscape.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because different industries have different problems.
Right.
Like a new fintech startup needs advisors who get the regulations and how fast tech changes.
Right.
But a bigger manufacturing company might need help with their supply chain or dealing with global trade rules.
That's a good point.
So you need advisors who speak your industry's language,
Yeah.
who know the challenges and opportunities that are unique to your world.
Exactly.
Okay. 2 down, 3 to go.
Okay.
That's next.
This one is about figuring out what skills your team is missing
Oh, okay.
and finding advisors who have those skills.
So it's like recognizing where you need that outside help.
Exactly.
Those perspectives that you don't have internally.
It's like doing a skills inventory for your whole company
I like that.
and then finding advisors who complement what you're already good at.
And help with the weak spots.
Yes,
It's like building a super team.
Yeah.
But instead of employees, we're talking experts.
I love that.
And speaking of expertise, I bet the fourth thing is about experience, right?
You got it.
Okay.
It's about looking for a proven track record of success. You want advisors who not only have the knowledge, but the experience of actually doing it.
Like they've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And they can offer insights from real life, not just from a textbook.
Right, because real world is different.
Yeah, there was this CEO I was reading about,
Okay.
and she was having trouble growing her business.
Yeah.
And she brought in an advisor who had successfully grown several companies in the same industry.
Wow.
And he was able to give her like a roadmap
Nice.
that she could use for her own situation.
So valuable.
And it saved her years of trial and error.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's the power of having those experienced advisors on your side.
Totally.
Okay, down to the last one.
Okay, hit me.
What's the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to picking our all-star board?
This one's often overlooked, but it's super important for a good board dynamic.
Okay.
Compatibility and engagement.
So it's not just about skills and experience on paper.
Right.
They need to fit in with the team,
Exactly.
with the company culture.
You need advisors who are not only knowledgeable,
Right.
but also willing to really participate, share their insights, challenge your thinking, and even engage in those tough conversations.
They need to be good communicators
Right.
and actually care about your company's success.
Exactly.
It's like building a team for a tough expedition.
Yeah,
You need people with the right skills,
for sure.
but also people who can work together under pressure,
Yes.
communicate well, and have the same goal.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
It really is like an expedition.
It is.
It's about aligning yourself with people who not only have the expertise,
Yeah.
but also the personality and the dedication.
And the willingness to be a true partner
Yeah.
in your success.
Wow, these 5 things really give you a clear picture of what to look for in a board member.
Yeah. It goes beyond just a resume.
Oh, yeah.
It's about finding those people who can make your decisions better, challenge your thinking,
Right.
and help you handle the tough stuff in your industry.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork for our Dream Team board,
We have the foundation.
but I'm guessing there's more to it than just picking the right people right. Like, what else is there?
Selecting the people is just the beginning.
Okay.
Now we have to figure out how to structure the board
Right.
and run meetings that actually get things done.
So how do we go from a group of really smart people to a team that works well together?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll cover in part 2 of our deep dive.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got our advisory board all-stars ready to go,
Yeah, our dream team.
each with their own like special skills and experience. But now we need to figure out how to turn this group into like a high-functioning team.
It's true. It's like having all the ingredients for a gourmet meal.
Yeah.
But needing that recipe to make it amazing.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So where do we begin? What are the first steps to setting up our board for success?
Just like any project, you start with a plan.
Okay.
In this case, it's about setting clear goals for the board. Like, what do we want to achieve? What role will the board play in getting us there?
And I'm guessing it's super important to define each member's roles and responsibilities too, right?
Absolutely, clarity is key.
So everyone knows what they bring to the table.
Yeah, each member needs to understand their role, their expertise, what's expected of them.
It's about setting those expectations up front so no one's confused.
Right, being on the same page from the start.
And to keep things running smoothly, we need a regular meeting schedule, right?
You got it. Whether it's monthly, quarterly, whatever works for your business, consistency is key.
Okay, consistency, got it.
Yeah, it creates a rhythm and helps the board communicate and collaborate better.
I'm also thinking it's smart to have a written agreement.
Oh yeah, like a charter.
Yeah, like a charter for the board.
That's a great idea.
To lay out things like the terms of engagement expectations for participation, confidentiality.
It covers all the legal and ethical stuff too.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about clarity, accountability, and protection for everyone.
I agree. A written agreement makes it official, sets the ground rules for success.
Love it. Okay, so we've got our structure, our roles defined, our meeting set. But how do we make sure those meetings are actually productive?
Ah, that's where good facilitation comes in.
Okay.
It's about creating an environment where everyone feels good, sharing their thoughts, challenging ideas, and actually contributing.
So no more boring meetings.
No more time wasters.
Okay, so give me some practical tips for running a meeting that people actually want to be at.
First rule, always have a clear agenda with time limits for each item.
Okay.
This keeps everyone focused and respectful of everyone's time.
It's like a roadmap for the conversation.
Exactly. Make sure we stay on track.
No getting sidetracked.
Exactly. And preparation is key.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Send out materials before the meeting.
Got it.
Give members a chance to review everything and come ready with questions and ideas.
It's like giving everyone a head start.
Yeah, so they can hit the ground running,
No one likes showing up unprepared.
especially busy executives.
Totally.
Oh,
Okay, so we've got pre-meeting prep. What about during the meeting itself?
encourage active engagement
Mm-hmm.
and open debate. Create a space where everyone feels safe to speak their mind, even if they disagree.
I love that respectful dissent.
Right. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about exploring every angle and finding the best solution.
There's this company that had a devil's advocate for their meetings.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, one person was assigned to challenge every idea.
Oh, wow.
It forced everyone to really think critically.
That's brilliant.
I know, right? Okay, so we've got pre-meeting prep dynamic discussions. Any tips for wrapping things up?
Post-meeting activities are just as important.
Okay, like what?
First, document key decisions and action items.
So everyone knows what needs to happen next.
Exactly. Who's responsible and when.
It's about taking those great ideas and turning them into actions.
You got it. And to keep everyone in the loop, send out meeting minutes.
So a written record of the discussion.
Yeah, and decisions and action items, it keeps everyone accountable.
Okay, so we're capturing the information and making sure things get done. What about checking in to see how those action items are progressing
Regular communication is key.
between meetings?
Yes, to keep the momentum going and make sure everyone's on track.
And to get feedback from the board.
Right, to see what's working, what's not, and how things can be improved.
This is all great stuff. We've covered structure for productive meetings, accountability. But I have a feeling there's more, right? Like even with the best planning, things don't always go perfectly.
You're right, it's not always smooth sailing advisory boards. Like any team can face challenges.
Okay, so what are some of those challenges? What should we be prepared for?
One of the biggest is finding the right members in the first place.
Right. It's not just about expertise.
Exactly. It's about finding people who fit your culture, who are willing to put in the time, and who truly care about your success.
It's like casting a movie.
Yeah, you need the talent and the chemistry.
Exactly. And even when you have a great cast, there could be challenges with defining roles and expectations.
Absolutely, making sure everyone understands their part.
So everyone knows their lines.
Right, and knows where they fit in the bigger picture.
And I imagine keeping everyone engaged can be tough too.
It can be.
Everyone's busy with their own stuff. How do we make sure our board doesn't become just another thing on their to-do list?
It's about making people feel valued, respected, and heard.
So build relationships, not just check boxes.
Yes, regular communication updates on the company's progress, acknowledging their contributions. That all helps.
It's about making it a rewarding experience for everyone.
Exactly, both personally and professionally.
Okay, so what about conflict? I mean, when you have strong personalities with different opinions, there's bound to be some disagreements, right?
Conflict is normal, and it's not always bad.
Okay.
It can actually lead to new ideas.
Okay, I like that.
But the key is managing it, effectively turning disagreements into productive conversations.
So how do we do that? How do we encourage healthy debate without things getting out of control.
Set clear ground rules for communication and decision-making.
Okay, ground rules, got it.
And having a good facilitator is important, someone who can guide the discussion and make sure everyone's voice is heard.
So create a safe space for respectful disagreement.
Exactly, where people feel comfortable challenging ideas without being judged.
And that written agreement we talked about earlier can help too, right?
Absolutely. Having those guidelines helps keep things objective and fair.
Now, remember how we said nonprofits face unique challenges with boards?
Yeah, the source material mentioned they can struggle with unclear roles between board members and staff.
So it gets confusing who's responsible for what.
Exactly, and that can lead to problems if it's not addressed head-on.
So nonprofits really need those clear guidelines, strong communication, and good governance.
You got it, to define everyone's roles and responsibilities.
It seems like accountability and transparency are super important for any board.
Definitely, they build trust and make sure everyone's working towards the same goals.
It's about creating a culture of integrity and shared responsibility.
Exactly, everyone working together.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges, but there are ways to overcome them, right?
Absolutely, and that's what we'll talk about in the final part of our deep dive. We'll discuss how to navigate the rough waters and steer your board towards success.
I'm ready. Let's set sail. Okay, welcome back. I'm feeling pretty energized after talking about those challenges advisory boards can face.
Yeah,
It's like we've made a map, spotted the danger zones,
I like that.
and now we're ready to gear up with the right tools and strategies to get through it all.
It's true. Awareness is the first step to taking action.
Right.
So now that we know what we might run into, we can handle it head on.
Yeah.
And make sure our board can really do its thing.
So where do we start? What are like the key ingredients for building a successful advisory board, even with all those challenges?
One of the most important things is a clear structure
Okay.
and a good governance framework.
So kind of like a set of rules?
Yeah, think of it like a constitution.
Okay, I like that.
That outlines everything: the board's purpose, roles, responsibilities, how meetings work, decision-making, even how to handle disagreements.
So it's all about setting those boundaries up front,
Exactly.
making sure everyone's on the same page about how the board will work.
Right, and how it interacts with the management team and everyone else.
It's like laying a strong foundation
Yeah.
for a house that can weather any storm.
I love that analogy. And just like a house needs good communication, so does a successful advisory board.
That makes sense.
You need to keep the lines open between the board, the management team, and everyone else.
So everyone stays in the loop.
Exactly. Information flows freely, feedback is shared, and everyone's on the same page.
And this is where technology can really help, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, with all the tools we have now,
So many.
it's way easier to keep everyone connected.
It is shared workspaces,
No,
virtual meetings, project management tools just for the board.
so much easier than it used to be.
Sure.
And speaking of making things run smoothly, we can't forget about compensation.
Right. And recognition.
Yeah. How do we show our advisors that we value their time and expertise?
Yeah. And their contributions to our success.
Is it all about money, or are there other ways?
It depends on your budget, what you're asking of them, and what they want. Some companies pay them, some give equity, some offer other benefits like professional development or access to special events.
So it's about finding that balance
Exactly.
between what works for your company and what matters to your advisors.
Right, recognizing that their time and knowledge are valuable.
And sometimes the best gestures are the simple ones, right?
Definitely.
Like a thank you note,
Yes.
publicly acknowledging their work,
Mm-hmm.
even just listening to their ideas and actually using them.
Those things go a long way in building good relationships and showing appreciation.
So make them feel like partners, not just hired help.
Exactly.
And we also need to remember that advisory boards aren't just for problem solving.
Right.
They should be helping us set strategic priorities
Absolutely.
and anticipating future challenges and opportunities.
It's about looking ahead, not just dealing with the now.
I love that it's about being proactive
Exactly. You want your board to be a source of inspiration and innovation.
so they can help us spot those big game-changing opportunities.
Yes, and that's crucial in today's fast-paced world.
Totally. There was this company I read about.
Mhm.
They were struggling to keep up with all the technology changes in their industry.
Yeah, that's a common problem.
So they created a board of people who were like experts in those new technologies.
Wow, so they had a think tank of future-focused advisors.
It was amazing.
I bet.
It helped them adapt and become leaders in their field.
That's the power of a good advisory board.
So inspiring. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, I have one last question.
Okay, shoot.
How do we make sure our board stays valuable over time?
That's where continuous improvement comes in.
Okay.
Building a good board isn't a one-time thing.
Right, it's a process.
Yeah, it's ongoing evaluation, adaptation, refinement.
So we need to treat it like any other important part of our business.
Exactly. Always looking for ways to make it better.
One way is to track the board's performance,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Using key performance indicators.
Okay, so looking at things like how many meetings we have, the quality of the discussions,
Right.
how many action items get done,
Yes.
even how the board's advice impacts the company overall.
It's all about measuring results, finding areas for improvement, and making changes as needed.
So we're not just doing things the same way forever.
Exactly. You also want to get feedback from the board members themselves.
Okay.
Be open to changing things up if necessary.
Whether it's the structure, the processes, or even who's on the board.
Exactly. It's about being flexible and always trying to make the board more effective.
It's a journey, not a destination.
It takes effort and attention, but the rewards are worth it.
I couldn't agree more. We've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have from what advisory boards are to how to deal with challenges and create a culture of success.
I feel like we've gotten a masterclass in building a truly amazing advisory board.
Yeah, one that's more than just a group of people. It's a real asset to your business.
Totally. And I'm so inspired to start building my own dream team of advisors.
That's great. And remember, it starts with one step.
Yeah.
Start thinking about who you want on your board.
Mm,
Reach out to those people who inspire you.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for their help,
You never know.
right? You might be surprised how willing they are to share their knowledge and support you.
Building an advisory board is like investing in your future.
It is an investment that can pay off for years to come.
So go for it. Build those relationships and watch your business grow with the help of your amazing board.
Well said. I couldn't have put it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
I like that.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.